Okay, guys, welcome back to Let's Get Freaky. I am super excited. I've got an awesome guest. I had the honor of being on his show just a few weeks ago, as we were recording this today, and we had a great time. He's an awesome dude. We've got Ryley from Midwest Mythos podcast. Did I pronounce that correctly, brother?
Yes, you did. You were one
That's
of the first. One of the first.
wow, man. I'm getting better at this, man. Let's go. How are you, my brother?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to talk to you. We had a great conversation on your podcast a couple of weeks ago, and people need to check that out right now. Well, listen to us first, and then maybe. Oh, they can go right now as well, and then come back to this. It's fine. I don't mind. But I'll put the link for that. Well, I'll put the link for your all your episodes in the show description, so people can go right now and forget about this if they want. But right now, I got you. I got you here right now. What part of the US are you in, brother? I do.
I so I'm in the Midwest. I am Michigan, Indiana area, bounce between the two. So almost pretty close to the heart of the country. Lots of cornfields, lots of forests, and lots of lakes.
Yes. Bigfoot. We got Bigfoot around there. We got Bigfoot everywhere, but
We got Bigfoot, but more importantly, we got Dogman. Michigan, hot
yeah,
spot for Dogman.
of course, man. And a growing subject, as you know, the dog man is up there with Bigfoot now, really. Um,
They're
so
right on par.
absolutely, brother. So do you want to your show? You kind of like this setup. You talk paranormal. You talk religious aspects as well, which is really cool. Do you want to give a brief description of your show and what you do and what got you into these wild subjects?
All right. So I'm the host of Midwest Mythos. Basically, I cover all forms of mythos. Mythos is just stories, factual fiction, just any story that is being told is a form of mythos. That's why I had to have it in the name. But I like to talk to people about their stories, whether it be cryptid encounters, paranormal encounters, religious encounters, spiritual encounters. If you're like a researcher in the ancient history, or your local town has some crazy legends, they ain't even gotta be creepy. They could just be, oh hey, we had a gold rush or something in this town back in the 1700s, and this and this happened. So I talk to people from all kinds of walks of life, and really it's just everything's off the cuff conversations. Every once in a while I do deep dives into stuff, but my passion in this is talking to people and hearing their stories because I've always been a big listener, not a big talker. So I figured, all right, well, let's have a podcast so it'll trick people into wanting to talk to me and just so I can hear more stories because I can never get enough. I'm one of those people that my wife gets angry because I make a best friend everywhere I go. And we'll just be walking through the store, and next thing you know, this whole person's telling me their whole life story, and I'm actually like, I'm not just like I'm actually into it. Like, oh, what? Your grandma did this? Just kind of stuff like that. So,
That's
if you
awesome, man.
if you like hearing people and their stories, man, this Midwest Mythos, check it out.
Awesome, brother. And that's good energy. People only do that with people that have got good energy. You know, when you meet a guy in the supermarket or whatever, and there's just sometimes you just get a feel that you can share stuff. You know, you can talk to that person. And other
Mhm.
times you bump into someone, you're like, no, I'm not going to say nothing to that dude. I'm not even going to look him in the eye because you can just see that he's he's
Oh yeah.
not as friendly. So you got good energy, man. I could definitely feel that last time we talked, and you're a cool dude, brother. So I'm excited to have you here tonight.
Oh, thank you. You're a cool dude too.
I'd love to go to the start of your journey, with the paranormal, you know, and the supernatural. Where did it all begin for you, man?
All right. So, uh, it's funny because it's in the intro of my show. I start out and it's like ever since I was a young boy, stories of the unknown, people's encounters with these creatures, and that that are not supposed to be real, and they got the scars to prove them and the stories to prove them. That's all true. So back from a very, very young age, I was exposed to this stuff, and it kind of, I kind of was, well, actually, it's not even kind of. I was the biggest wuss on the entire planet till about the age of 11. So my family, they're real big into horror movies. They always have been. They're all about the scary stuff. My dad loved aliens and all those kind of things. So growing up, I can remember having a conversation with my preschool teacher about how I was afraid of aliens, like definitely afraid of aliens, just because my dad would always talk about them and put movies like uh, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, The Fourth Kind, Dreamcatcher, all those kind of movies, and they just terrified me. So I was like, oh, I don't want anything to do with this kind of stuff. Like even Scooby Doo was a little for me. But about 2006, 2007, when I was in like kindergarten, first grade, uh, Monster Quest came out, and the second episode was they were in the Pacific Northwest searching for Bigfoot. So I was like, oh man, this is cool. You telling me there's a giant monkey walking through the woods that people can't find? Yeah. So, like any kid does, I hyperfixate on one thing. So, I would go to the library asking my teacher, hey, can you help me find books on Bigfoot? And surprisingly, my little hole in the wall school in the middle of nowhere had a bunch of books on Bigfoot. So I'd check them all out every week. And I wasn't a strong reader until I got older and worked on it. But so I would just look at all the pictures and stuff like that. And so I got real big into Bigfoot. And then Finding Bigfoot came out when I was a kid too. So it was like, that kind of helped me a lot. And about the same time, Ancient Aliens was a huge thing. And my dad was obsessed with Ancient Aliens. That dude, anything sci-fi. It was rare if a sci-fi movie or Ancient Aliens was not on the TV. So over about that time, I got over my fear of aliens and started really getting big into them. And that carried on through high school. Me and my best friend Caleb, he me and him tried reading Chariot of the Gods in like sixth, seventh grade. Not a book to be reading then. It's pretty dense. That's a tough read. Lots of math. But me and him kind of had we had each other to he wasn't in any of the weird stuff except for aliens, but over the years I've kind of bombarded him with cryptids and stuff like that. But me and him did a lot of research on aliens. We've each had our own encounters with UFOs, which we'll get into. And then once I hit high school, uh, that's when podcasts started for me. And I was sitting in drafting class and I was allowed to listen to something. So I was looking at just like, let's start listening to podcasts, like Bigfoot podcasts. I found Sasquatch Chronicles
Yes.
and I started listening to that back in like 2017. And the first episode I listened to, he had Tony Merkel from the Confessionals because Tony had just started the Confessionals a couple weeks prior. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna check this dude out. And so I started listening to the Confessionals, and that's when I started learning about all these other things and all these cryptids and stuff I've been doing research into my whole life started coming together. And I was just like, oh, there's so much more. I want to do a podcast, but it didn't take off for another 6 years after that. And from then, I've been full gear researching cryptids. I'm a cryptid hunter, all that kind of stuff. I've done some pretty fun expeditions, which we'll get into those too. But I guess you could say I probably this is probably one a little longer than you wanted, but yeah,
No, it's awesome, man.
I I've I was always that weird one who
Yeah.
loved this kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
to this day still do.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. And it's funny you say, because they're the two podcasts you mentioned there, I would say were probably the two podcasts that kind of set me off as well. I mean, there was other great podcasts as well. There's loads of great podcasts, but
Mhm.
Sasquatch Chronicles was my first, like, Bigfoot. I used to listen, I started with like sports podcasts, and then I went to like Sasquatch Chronicles, and I was like, this is amazing.
Uh-huh.
There's people talking every week about their encounters, and I was always into that sort of stuff like you as well. The Patterson Gimlin footage was always like that. These things are real for me. But to hear people share their encounters every week, it was like amazing, man. And very similar to yourself, that was like, this is gold, man. This is unreal. And then the confessionals as well. So my story is similar to yours, brother. And then I didn't start the podcast straight away, but uh, we're both here. Here we are.
Yes, we are. And I don't know about you. I could take a good guess, but this is one of the most fun things I've ever done in my entire
Oh,
life.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. It is. It becomes like a job, like a full time, oh, like another job, but
Mhm.
it's like the best. Like it's. I can't imagine doing this and not enjoying it. I like yourself, and that shows with you, man. Like your energy and yeah, I can see how much you enjoy it, and that shows, and that's so cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, last night. So I've been slacking a little bit, started a new job, and hours are all weird and stuff. I forgot to record, have an interview recorded. So I was like, man, guys, sorry, I'm gonna have to do it to you again. No new episode. And I was texting my buddy Caleb about it, and he texted me at like almost midnight. He's like, all right, I got my babies asleep. Let's We recorded in the middle of the night
Oh,
last
that's
night. We both had
awesome.
to be up for work in a couple hours, and we just busted out an episode, and we had a blast.
Oh, respect, man. Yeah, that's awesome. That's what's so cool about this, man. It's obviously there's some technical sides to the podcasting, but really it's quite, things do go wrong with technical stuff. We was talking about that before, but no, it's quite simple. Like me and you, we've set up tonight. We're together, basically in the same room now, and it's pretty cool. Like it's amazing, really. It's connected the whole world. I know that's the internet, not just podcasting, but the whole world is so one now, basically. I love
It
it,
is.
man.
It is. It's awesome. I mean, we would have never met each other if it wasn't for
Yeah,
podcasts, man.
100%, 100%.
Oh,
So it's brought us together, brother.
oh yeah. Man, and we gonna have some fun tonight. You
100%, man.
you got little tidbits when you came on my show, so I'm excited to. We talked a lot about putting the puzzle pieces together tonight, man. We're gonna put some more of them together.
Let's go, my brother. So you said when you was a young kid, and I very similar. We're quite similar, man. I think you said this when I was in York. We're quite similar, but I was a very scared kid as well, and I grew up, as you know, in a haunted house. Was that similar for you? Was there a reason why you were scared, or was it like you didn't understand it?
It was more of a I didn't understand it. I had a lot of nightmares and stuff when I was a kid, and for some reason, like I would always just feel fear, I guess, more than a normal person would. I I didn't know what it was. I had no reason to be scared of stuff, but like everybody always told me growing up, oh, this stuff's not real. It can't get you. And but for some reason, I always felt like it was there and it was around me, but I didn't really have anything happen to me until I got into my teenage years. But looking back at it, some of the places I was and some of the nightmares and stuff I had, there probably was some stuff around me, and I guess I could say this just because this is the first time I've even thought of this thing in years. But I remember my grandmother's house. So when I was a kid, it was my house, my aunt and uncle's house, and then kitty corner to those was my grandma and grandpa's house. We all lived on the same street, and I just remember was having weird nightmares at my grandma's house. I can't remember them because I was so young. I was like 4, but I would always be scared to go into certain rooms and like their closet. And I'm for the first time in almost 20 years, I'm remembering this thing as something in the closet, like just hiding up in the corner of the closet. But I know it was a dream, but I remember this was probably this movie. There was a movie that came out that was called Mama, and it was some weird demon kind of thing. I never watched it because of what happened, but my mom and my sister drove past my grandma's house. They had been moved out at this point for like 8 years. They moved down the road in another direction, but they came home and like my sister was crying, and I was like, "What?" And they were like, we saw something that looked like the mama in the movie in my grandma's old house.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just this was I haven't like I said, I haven't thought of this in years. But for whatever something you said just brought it out.
That
And
happens, man. That definitely. I've had that. I've been in situations where, and it's like a memory that you think I should remember that, but you push these memories back sometimes, and they just come out.
yeah, and it's like I said, I never really had anything happen to me until I got older, and then it just oh boom went full drive into
Yeah, man.
a
So
lot of
this, so going back to this mama entity, I've not seen the film, so I'm not quite sure. Can you sort of explain what it looks like?
I I'm gonna have to I know it's like all oh, can you see me still?
Yeah, yeah.
It was like if I remember it was all like decrepit looking,
Hmm.
gross, dirty, I don't know, like hair over the face kind of thing.
Oh.
I haven't seen the movie and I don't even know if I've ever watched the full movie because
Hmm.
it was but like I said it was my mom and my sister who saw it.
Yeah.
I'm just like just thinking about it.
Hmm.
Oh, it's just
Yeah.
weird.
I do think there's something to like our dreams. I never used to be a person that thought dreams were like paranormal, but I do think there is something, whatever it is, there's some connection to the supernatural and the paranormal with dreams. Some
Oh yeah.
dreams feel a lot more real than others. Some feel like real, like you wake up and it affects you. Like I've had that many times. You wake up and it like affects your day. And we get bad dreams, nightmares happen, but then there's just some this it's like more than a dream. It's very hard to explain. I know most people have probably experienced that, but there
Oh
seems to
yeah.
be something to that, man.
Oh yeah. And I got one of those for you coming up. It's probably been one of the biggest impacts on my entire life, but there's a little bit more that leads up to it. So I'll just preface this because it'll come into play here in a little bit. From the age of 10 to 20, 10, 20, 21, I was hardcore atheist. Like, get mad at you if you started talking about Jesus. Like, I've always been a real nice person, give you the shirt off my back kind of dude. But when it came to people talking about Jesus, I would just get pissed and
But
script and all that kind of.
we froze for a second there. Sorry, brother. So
Oh,
after
you're
you,
good.
we're back,
Oh,
we're back.
all right. Some of my friends would invite me to youth group and all that kind of stuff with them, and I'd go, but not for Jesus. I'd go to try to get girls, all that kind of stuff. Like some of them church girls were good looking back in high school, and I was like, yeah, let's go do this for this, and all the wrong reasons. Jesus was not in my mind at all. So there's that. But back in 2017, I did uh, robotics. We did built robots, did competitions, all that kind of cool stuff, and it was one of the after school activities that could go really late into the night and not get in trouble. So where I grew up. I lived right across the street from Lake Michigan. I could walk to the other side of the woods, which was probably 200 feet. There'd be a little short, small highway that you could just walk across, and there's a house, and then there's Lake Michigan right there. A lot of bluffs and stuff. So I was driving home one night and looking out over the bluff. I always kept my eyes on the sky because, Ancient Aliens ends every episode. Keep your eyes on the sky. So I always did. And it's thunderstorming and all that kind of stuff. And there's a big opening in the tree line, big old bluff. A lot of people go out there to just sit and watch the lake. But I was looking over it and I saw these five orange dots, like boom, boom, like they almost look like a pentagon. And they're about a quarter mile out. And they're not very, a couple hundred feet up. They're not very high up. And I'm just watching them. I'm like, there's lightning and all that stuff going on behind. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, oh, dude, that's a UFO. I'm talking to myself. And I just keep on watching it. And then I hit some trees. And lose it for a second, and then it gets to another opening, and I see it or them, and they just whoop gone. And I watched it for. I mean, I got to look at it for a good amount of time. Few like I think it was like anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds.
Wow,
Visible
man. How did
looking
they
at.
did they just disappear or did they like shoot off?
They shot off.
Oh wow, so you saw them actually fly off.
It was so quick though. It was
Uh-huh.
basically like they did the bush, just whoop, yeah, and
Yeah.
they're gone. So I call my dad. I'm like, yo, oh man, you're never gonna believe this. And he's like, what, you saw a UFO? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, how'd you know? He's like, Ryley, you call me once a week saying you saw a UFO. And I was like, Dad, but this one is legit. And he was like, how far away are you from the house? And I'm like, 5, 10 minutes. He's like, all right, come home and tell me about it. And I told him about it. We talked a little bit. He was like, all right, yeah, that one's more believable. Not that he didn't believe any of the other things I saw, because we saw them all the time.
Hmm.
We had a lot of air traffic, airplanes. We have a bunch of major airports all around the area.
Hmm.
Detroit, two in Chicago, one in South Bend, Indiana, a bunch up in Michigan. And so I see planes all the time. I know what a plane looks like. I see 100 plus a day.
Hmm.
And we told him about it. He was like, "Oh, you definitely saw something." And me and my grandfather that summer, or the summer before, saw a silver cigar just floating up in the over to Lake Michigan. Like we were sitting on the porch of the farm, looking out. The lake's quarter mile away, if that. So you can hear the waves coming in sometimes, and we're just looking, and we're like, "What's that thing?" We just looked at it, watched it for a few minutes, and then we just started talking together because we were like, "Oh, maybe it's a weather balloon or something like that." Actually thinking it is a weather balloon, not just the UFO talk.
Hmm.
But then we turn back around and it's gone, and we're like, "Oh, that's weird." But I mean, we looked at that thing for a long time, but it was just middle of the day, just there. Didn't think anything of it. But looking back at it, I was like, "Oh yeah, no,
Wow. Was
that
that
was a
like a silver cigar shape?
yep."
Whoa. I know it's difficult, but how big would you say that was,
Uh,
roughly? I know it's hard. It's hard when you're looking at something in the sky.
well, probably with how far out I think it was. I mean, it had to be pretty big. I mean, it wasn't like no football field or anything like that, but a decent size, maybe 100 feet,
Hmm.
if that. Maybe 75. It was big enough you could see it at a distance, but it wasn't. It wasn't no city in the sky,
Hmm.
anything like that.
Yeah.
But it was enough to be like, huh. And then getting older and stuff, doing research, it's like, oh yeah, Benton Harbor, the town this was in, is one of the points of the Lake Michigan Triangle. So there's all sorts of UFO activity and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, paranormal activity, all that good stuff. So now looking at it, all the little weird moving lights and stuff I seen in the sky, that the other lights I seen, and then stuff that like friends and stuff have all and friends' parents have all seen similar things out there. So it's just kind of like it is what it is. It's cool.
Yeah, man. Well, a lot of people see the cigar-shaped UFOs. I think my wife actually saw something like that. And I remember she called me up as she was coming home from work one day, and all the kids saw it as well. They saw something that looked like a cigar shape in the sky. I didn't see that, and they both actually tried to record it on their phones. So my wife had an iPhone and my daughter had a Samsung, I think, and they both tried to record, and it wouldn't let them record it. Really weird.
Oh, that
And
is
they were like
weird.
so excited to tell me because they know how much I love this stuff. But yeah, I mean, you look up at the sky, man, you're going to see some weird. If you're always looking up, you're going to see some stuff in the sky that you can't explain. Weird lights you're going to see. I know sometimes they can be satellites and stuff, but sometimes you'll see something, man. You're like, I have no idea what that is. It's moving in a weird way. You know?
hmm yeah, there's been plenty of those. And satellites, oh, Starlink gave my town a scare. Everybody was on the Facebook, we're being adopted. Because it was the same day that they shot that UFO up in lower Canada, Upper Peninsula of Michigan. They shot that one down. It was the same day. So I'm like,
Oh wow.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm taking a video, me and my uncle, I'm taking my uncle home, and I'm like, dude, what? Are you seeing this? And he's like, yeah, dude, what is that? We start looking, and then he starts going through Facebook, and he's like, oh, it was Starlink.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, well, I was like, damn, there goes that. I thought I had me another good, like real good UFO sighting.
Well, the Starlink, if you've not seen it before, it's quite a cool thing to see. I've seen it a few times, and it is quite. You're like, wow, because it does look otherworldly. It is quite strange. I've had a few people send me the Starlink, and like, what's this? What's this? And I'm like, it's not a UFO. I'm sorry, it's a Starlink. But yeah, it's still a cool thing to see.
Oh yeah.
What do you think these UFOs are, in your opinion? What do you think they are?
Man, so for years and years, I always thought they were our space brothers and stuff like that, coming visiting from other planets. But over the last couple years, like a lot of people in the community have, I really think that they're a lot of them are human that
Hmm.
have access to fallen technology, and that they are like fallen entities that are doing these, whether it be their drones like the Greys and stuff like that, just like machines or something that they made so
Hmm.
their spirits can embody them. I I'm not a big Space Brothers dude anymore. I'm not saying there's not a possibility
Hmm.
that there is life out on other planets, because I'm not going to put a limit on my God and what he can and can't do. All right, if maybe he has done stuff like that, it's just not mentioned in the Bible,
Hmm.
because it doesn't necessarily need to be if he did. But I really do think it is fallen tech.
Hmm. Interesting, man. Because my opinion changes every day on this stuff. Like I'm sure it does for you as well. But
Hmm.
at the moment, I think I'm sort of at the stage where I think there's a mixture of things going on, and that's why these things are quite difficult to. You can't put it all in the same category with the UFOs. There's orbs in the sky. I think I told you one of the things that I saw was like a weird silvery metallic change in shape thing, which was like, the more I think about it, is like a living organism, possibly, you
Hmm.
know. Um, they're just different types, man. And you say you saw the cigar shape, what's that? That sounds like it could be like a hidden technology that maybe we have. But it is interesting, man. It is interesting.
Yeah. Uh, and you brought up the living organism thing. I always forget this because it's so new to me. I do think there is atmospheric stuff. My boy Justin from Cryptids of the Corn,
Yeah,
he goes
he's awesome.
balls to the wall with it. I just was hanging out with him and
Oh
Jay a couple
wow.
of weeks ago, because they ain't too far out from me, and they did a live thing. We were talking about it, and I was telling him about some of the stuff over Lake Michigan. And he's like, we need to talk about that, because yeah, that these jellies up there
Yeah, man.
fits the conditions. And I'm like, yeah. So I think it could be that kind of stuff too.
Yeah,
Thanks
for
for thanks
sure.
for reminding me.
Yeah, living organisms in the sky, like jellyfish-like entities. Yeah, I mean the cryptid of the corn guys, they're awesome. We've had Justin on the show before. Awesome dude. Very interesting, man. I think the possibilities are endless. But that's the hard thing with this stuff. With all the
Mhm.
paranormal, really, there seems to be so much going on. Anything is possible, really.
Yes, exactly. And that's the fun in it too, man.
Hmm.
We never know.
Hmm.
And
Hopefully, we find out. I'd like to find out.
uh, that's
I
gonna be
want to
one.
know.
That's gonna be one of the first questions I ask God when the time comes. If what was all this stuff? And I just hope He explains it to me.
Yeah. We-
Because man, that stuff ain't even the top of the barrel. The stuff that's happened
mhm.
to me, man.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, wow. Yeah. So what's next for you, brother? So you saw these lights in the sky. What was the next thing?
Well, there was. I worked at a haunted pizza place. There was some weird stuff that happened there, just like chairs moving. That's the most that happened to me. People say other workers there said they saw people standing in the windows. The prep cook, she was down there by herself a couple hours a day every day. She said she had a little boy tug on her, which lines up with a little boy getting kicked in the face by a horse, like when the building was first built 100 something years ago.
Hmm.
So I did that. There was that, but the next big thing is this is going to take a minute, but it's when I came to God and gave my life to Jesus, the activity in my life got cranked up to the max. And it started out with, like I said, I was a hardcore atheist. Me and my buddy Caleb, we was talking about aliens one night, and he's like, "Brother, I don't know how I feel about this stuff anymore. I think I believe in Jesus now again because he grew up in faith but left it and came back." And I was like, "Bro, you're not doing this to me. You're not doing this to me. Come on, man." I don't know why I was hurt so bad by him finding Christ, but we decided to go sit in the garage and we're just talking about it. And his stepdad comes out and say, "Boys, you mind if I hop in this conversation? I want to tell you my side if you listen." And normally I didn't like to listen to people talk about Jesus because I thought I knew it all and I thought it was all BS. But I'm like, I respect this dude a lot. He's another father to me. And I was like, come on, yeah, I'll listen to you. And that night, some weird stuff happened. He started giving me the gospel. I started feeling really weird. My heart was racing. I just like did not feel all right. Like it felt like I was going to explode from the inside out. It was just turmoil inside me. And three times throughout the night, he told me, read Job. Job, Job. That's what I heard, clear as day, three times. So I go home and I read the entire book of Job. And I'm like, I believe in Jesus now. I thought Jesus was just hippy dippy frolicking in the meadows. I thought God was all peace and love. Then I got some of that reality truth of God and Job. Like, no, God lets us suffer so that we can be, it's part of a testimony, but he lets us suffer.
Hmm.
He's not all rainbows and butterflies. Like, he's a righteous God, a flawless God, and anything we do, we deserve. But that I needed that aspect. I needed to be hit with the where were you when I created everything? Where were you when I created the Leviathan, the behemoth? Where were you when I did all I needed to hear that. So that night I was like, I believe in Jesus. God's real. I need to get on the right track. So I go back over the next day and I'm like, dude, I believe in Jesus. And they're like, awesome, man. How'd you like John? And I was like, John? I read Job. And my buddy's stepdad was like, why the hell would I tell you to read Job as your first book in the Bible? No, like I would never tell anybody to read Job. The Gospel of John, yes, that's a good one to get people into. And I was like, well, I heard you say Job three times that night, man. And he was like, well, I guess that's what God wanted you to hear because that's what you needed, obviously. Because it sounds like if you would have read John, you would nothing would have happened.
Wow.
So from that day, I believed in Christ, and then I started getting tested real hard, and a lot of stuff happening. That very same day, I went back and told them about that. I got a call. There was a shooting at the mall where my family was at, right a couple stores over. My dude came, some gangs, there's a lot of gang violence, came and shot a dude right in the face, like right in the middle of the mall. And everybody's panicking and stuff. I'm getting a call like, oh, this. And then my sister's like, mom almost got trampled to death. And then some person out of the crowd came, pulled her up and, pulled her out of the mall and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, well, I was like, all right, that was God. God kept them safe because they very easily could have been one store over and who knows what could have happened. My mom could have been trampled, but that lady decided to be selfless and instead of getting her and her family out, turned around and picked my mother up and got her out. And so I was like, all right, God, you're real and thank you. And then time goes by a little bit. I was always at my buddy's house. We lived right down the road from each other. So we hung out. I lived at his house more than I lived at my own. And so one night, we were over there and we were out pretty late. And I was living at my grandma's at the time. Just some stuff happened. And my grandma, same place I saw the cigar UFO. Well, it's like midnight, 1 o'clock, and I'm coming down the driveway. I'm blasting my gospel music, and I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's go. And then I start going down the driveway, and it's like quarter-mile driveway. And I get in between the tree line and the fields, blueberry fields, and all of a sudden I just feel the worst fear of is like a primal fear. I was like, something is behind me. And I forgot to mention, I'm driving my grandmother's car. So I'm not like used to how the car works at like, it's different. So I'm like, there's something behind me. If I turn around, I'm gonna die. So I'm freaking out. I'm trying to get the door open. I cannot get the door open for the life of me. And I'm like, don't turn around, don't turn around. Everything in me is saying, don't turn around. I jump out. I eventually get the door open. I jump out into the bushes, like in the field. And I'm like, what was that? And I like look through the back window and there's nothing there. Nothing. So I hop back in the car. It's pitch black outside. I'm afraid of the dark, man. I'm really afraid of the dark. We talked about this.
Yeah, I am as well, brother.
So I go inside and my grandma, she's a night owl. She's sitting there. She's like, you all right? I was like, yeah, grandma, I'm fine. She's like, you want a cup of coffee? And I was like, no, grandma, I actually want to go to bed tonight, because we drink coffee all all throughout the day. It's not just a morning thing. It'll be in the middle of the night. We'll have sit down, have a cup of coffee. And I'm like, no, grandma, I'm going to bed. So I go into my room and I just pass out, go to sleep. But then I started having a dream. I don't have dreams, man. I had them a lot when I was a kid, but like through my teenage years and early up until recently, actually, I just never had dreams. So when I had them, I could remember everything. And this one still haunts me to this day. So I'm at a campground that me and my other set of grandparents used to always go to with my siblings. And at the back of the campground, there was a tents only place. We stayed in the night. My grandparents have a real nice camper, so we glamped out there. And but we're in the area. We were sitting by the fire. It's me, this girl that I used to talk to, and my buddy Caleb. And we're sitting around the fire. We got a trailer behind us, which is our trailer. Which I don't know why it's a dream. It was in the tents only area, but it's a wooded area, real wooded area. And so we're just sitting by the fire, and I hear this rustling in the trees, and all of a sudden this creature comes out. It's eating the skull of a deer, all the flesh and everything's just hanging from it. And this thing's got in itself has like a deer skull head ish, but it's grayish, pasty. It's like the rake, but it's built like a Sasquatch. So it's just brick shit house, and uh, it just looks at me and it starts laughing. I'm freaking out, and I'm like, "What's that? What's going on?" And everybody's acting all cool. They're like, "What? He's cool. He's friendly. We're all friends with him." I'm like, "What?" So I run inside the camper, and this thing's already sitting there waiting in the camper. And the camper is like all of a sudden big, like real big on the inside. And this thing's just chasing me around. Like I'm trying to run away, and it's just there. And it's just laughing at me. Like, evil kind of laugh. Like it's having fun scaring and chasing me. And the dream moves forward. But then it moves in, but it's weird. It becomes lucid, but It's me. We're at this cabin on a lake, and there's a pier on the lake. So, from my perspective, I call it a 1.5 view, like person view. It's not quite third person. So, like, the best way I can describe it is here's my body, and then here's me, like, right over it. Like, I can, if my eyes are here
Hmm.
in the dream, my eyes are up here. Like, I'm slightly seeing over myself a little bit. Or, like, what some people would call like an astral projection, like they're just starting and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Which I'm not saying this was, but just to give some people a perspective with it. And so that girl that I was on and off with, she's at the end of the pier. And I'm like, all right, I'm sitting in the cabin. Like, all right, I'm finally gonna tell her how I feel. So I get ready to walk out, and then all of a sudden, this really, really handsome dude is now at the end of the pier talking to her. And he's like, you're so beautiful, you're so smart, but most importantly, Enochian. And a switch flipped inside me. And all of a sudden, I burst through the door out to this pier, and I'm spitting out Bible verses. To this day, I don't know what they are, but I'm ripping them out like I actually know what I'm talking about. And throwing some in Jesus' name, I rebuke you. In Jesus' name, I rebuke you is in there. And all of a sudden, the dude looks at me and he morphs into that monster. And then I realize that's why everybody thought he was cool because they were seeing the dude, but I was seeing what it actually was. And this thing in the nastiest, like demonic voice is like, you have no power over me. You can't save her. Your God has no power over me. And I'm running up the dock, and then this thing starts sprinting at me, just jagged smile ear to ear, and I'm ripping out these verses still. In Jesus' name, I rebuke you. In Jesus' name, I rebuke you. And it just gets closer, and it says, "You can." Once again, it says, "You cannot save her. Your God has no power over me. You have no power over me." And it opens its mouth real wide, and it's like about to consume me. And then I shoot out of bed, stiff as a board. I cannot move. Like I'm sitting up, but I cannot move, and I'm just yelling, "In Jesus' name, I rebuke you. In Jesus' name, I rebuke you. In Jesus' name, I'm screaming it." And I'm like, I'm hyper focused on the closet for some reason. But that might just be everybody's first instinct is, oh, there's something scary. It's in the closet. So I don't know if there's any semblance to that or anything like that. But yeah, so I'm just like, what? I asked my grandma the next morning, "You hear me screaming last night?" And she's like, "No." But like I couldn't move. So like I call it sleep paralysis. Like I
Hmm.
wasn't like laying down. I shot up like in the old movies the vampires come out of
Hmm.
their
Yeah.
crypts and they're just like standing like that.
Like the
Oh
Undertaker in wrestling.
yeah, yes, like exactly like the Undertaker.
Man.
But I can't move. So I still call it sleep paralysis because I'm coming out of sleep and I'm just like in that.
Hmm.
But I was freaking out. I didn't know what was happening. And the next day, I don't I've told this next portion once. I don't bring it up very often. But I'll tell you, uh there was a name that kept on going through my head the next day. And it was Azazel. That's all that kept on going through my head for some reason. And that's not a name that you hear very often, but I knew what it was, but I so then that same day, the next day, I go to my buddy's house, same buddy's house, and I'm talking to his dad and telling him about it. He's like, "Oh, it's just a dream." Well, I wasn't thinking all the kids and stuff were around me. So he's like, "Go, kids, go out by the fire and stuff like that." And then he's like, "All right," he's like, "Riley, come on, we're gonna go talk." He's like, "Riley, that wasn't a dream." He's like, "Bubba, that was that was not a dream." He's like, "That's a warning, dude. I don't know what for. I don't know if it, but it's a warning, and you don't need to whatever you're doing. that that thing is in your life right now, you got to do something about it. Because, like, God has power over all. But if you're doing something with this thing, it's like when those those people started going out and trying to cast out demons, and they're like, "Oh, but we know Paul, we know Jesus." Well, he don't know you, you know. So it's like so they got thrashed by the demons. He's like it's kind of like that situation. So I got real right with the Lord. Uh, Started praying a lot more, and it slowed down for quite a while until a couple months, about 7, 8 months later, me and my buddies move in. Same, my buddy Caleb, his now wife. We're renting a house together on this property. It got a lot of woods in the back, old house, and then we started having some weird stuff happen at the house. So the first real big weird thing that happened was I'd go hang out with buddies and stuff. I'd be out late or I'd work late. So I'm coming home late one night and my buddy Caleb, he calls me. He's like, "Hey, bro, what'd you do to Barry?" And I was like, "Who's Barry?" And he's like, "Where are you at?" And I was like, "I'm 5 minutes away." He's like, "All right, well, just come inside when you get home." And it's storming and stuff right now. Oh, that's funny. A lot of the stuff happens during storms. So I walk inside the house and I just feel heavy. And then I walk inside their bedroom and I feel that same pressure, that fear, that primal fear that I felt with whatever was in that vehicle with me that day. And I look at the bed and there's this old stuffed bear, Barry, his wife's bear, and it had glass bead eyes and a glass button nose. This bear is sitting up as I'm sitting in this chair right now, and its eyes and nose are ripped out of its face, laid out perfectly how they would be in the face in front of it on the bed. Yeah. And I was like, we need to get out of here. I'm so sorry. All right. My daughter's screaming her head
No
off and
problem, brother.
my phone's blowing up. So I had
That's,
to check real see if it was
yeah,
my wife.
no problem, brother. Do you want me to pause for a second?
No, you're good. I'm sorry.
No, no problem at all.
We're
No,
we're all good. It's not my wife blowing up my phone. It's somebody
bro.
else. Sorry, guys. I have a 10-month-old daughter.
I fully understand, man. Bro, that's intense.
Oh, dude, yeah. To the point, it's intense enough that I told them, "Hey, guys, this is that primal fear I felt in the car." And they're like, "That's what we're feeling right now?" And I was like, "Yeah, and we need to get out of this house right now." So we walk outside, like dark as night outside, in the pouring rain. We're just standing out in the rain, trying to come up with a game plan. And I'm like, "All right." After a few minutes of getting drenched, I walk inside, I grab my Bible. The edition of the Bible I have, uh, it is in the very front has Psalm 23. And this was before everybody started talking about Psalm 23 in the podcast paranormal community. So I'm like, I'm gonna read Psalm 23. So I just walked around the house and just reading Psalm 23, and it just went away. And we were like,
Interesting.
okay, okay, we're good. We're good.
So that feeling went away, that feeling of dread.
Yes, it was almost, I would dare say, instantaneously gone.
Man.
And I would love to say that was the last thing that happened at the house, but that was just the beginning. Th
Whoa.
this was a haunted house. Actually, I can't even say that the house was haunted. I think just all of us coming to the Lord and
Hmm.
being at that point in our journeys had a real
At
big.
this moment, was you, because everyone's journey is different, um, coming to the Lord, but was it a complete switch? Like, was you just basically like a different person, or not a different person, but Was it a complete switch over, a smooth switch over, or was there still doubts in your mind? Or how was the what was the process for you?
So there was a lot of stuff I still had to work through. It was
Hmm.
like a 180, like 1 second I don't believe in him, the next I'm all for him.
Hmm.
But and I'll admit I still have this today. You go in waves. Like
Hmm.
I'm really heavy into my word. Oh, I was starting to fall off. I'm not maintaining the relationship I should have with the Lord. Oh, I'm going up.
Hmm.
So I was in that, and this was like, all right, I've been a believer for 2 years. Let's start really getting into it. Let's work on becoming more Christ-like. What changes and stuff can I make in my life? And that kind of goes in with the next thing. Uh, no, sorry, I'm skipping something. All right, one, all right, I'll flash forward, then we'll come back for a second. Sorry.
Hmm. That's cool, man. That's cool.
So I'll admit you can blur this out if you want. I don't know.
No, I'll keep it as long as you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind, but some people get iffy about this word. It's not a bad word, but
Hmm.
it's a word that makes people uncomfortable. So I struggled very, very hard with pornography, like bad, to the point I was spending lots of money on it. I don't know why I spent money on it because it was free, but I was making a lot of money and I was like, huh, let's see what this paid stuff's like. And it it, it just kind of got to a point where it was getting real bad. So I was like, I got to stop. I laid it down at the foot of the Lord. I was like, Jesus, help me. I'm tired of being like this. I'm tired of this being my life. And so I quit for a week and I got baptized because I also wanted to get baptized. And then as soon as I got baptized that night, all the urges just washed away. Like, so I was good for like a month and stuff. I met my wife. We didn't know each other very much before we got married, like 5 months, and we decided, all right, we're supposed to be married. So we did, but before this, like there was a lot I had to do before we could get married. And this was one of those things. Maintain not being addicted to pornography, and
Hmm.
self-gratification and stuff like that. So I was doing really good. And I made a promise with God, which I know we're not supposed to make promises to God because, we can't, it's very unlikely that we can keep them. But I was like, God, if you let her be my wife, I will, I'm done with this stuff. Like, she is plenty enough reason for me not to do it. Just to have her in my life is way greater than anything pornography gave me. So we had, I had some issues at this house and just my side of the house was weird. It didn't feel right, felt kind of dark. At night, I'd feel and hear footsteps outside my door and like towards the foot of my bed, and they always got closer and closer. And this is where the vibrating stuff comes in that we talked about, the
Hmm.
sleep, the paralysis. Like yours was pleasant, but mine, when I get that vibrating feeling, it's not like my heart's racing. I just like it feels like my body's in a seizure, but it's not. Like my heart rate's over 200 something. Uh, and my body just shaking like,
Hmm.
and I've come to learn that that's probably something trying to attack me in my sleep. After talking with Vicky Joy, me and her talked about it for a while, uh, off air, and so it all kind of came to a point where I had that feeling, and then I had a dream, and there was this old lady in it, like this is the old haggy kind of lady and stuff like that, and then there's this dude there too, and this old lady's like seducing me. Like, I'm not into old ladies.
You sure, brother? I'm
I'm
joking.
I'm pretty sure, man. Uh, but but so in the dream, this lady's seducing me, and she starts performing actions. Uh, I will not get into those, but I don't want it, but I'm not fight. It's like almost like I'm hypnotized in it.
Are you in the paralysis state when this is happening? Can you not move?
It's like a dream. So like I'm not
Okay.
even. This is all like a dream,
Hmm.
and like there's just some dude watch. I don't even know why I brought there, but there's a dude there, and but this old lady, she's doing her stuff, and obviously there's consequences of that. And so I woke up to the sharp pain and realized, oh, I just in
Hmm.
my sleep, and I felt like this great shame. I felt awful, like disgusting, like I just broke my promise to God, thinking, I just did this in my sleep, and I knew it was something spiritual, but it wasn't until I was talking to our mutual brother Drewski
Hmm.
that he was like, Riley, you know what that was, and I deep down I knew what it was, but I didn't want to say it, but it was a succubus, and it was trying to get me to think that I had failed, that I was not like I couldn't do the one thing that I needed to do in order to get with my
Hmm.
wife. And I was like, all right, I got to call it off. I can't even do this one thing. I'm not ready to get married. Like if I can't do this, and then after some fasting and prayer, I realized, it wasn't me. Like I did do the thing, but I didn't.
Hmm.
It wasn't me. It was something that
Yeah. Yeah.
forcibly did that to me.
Yeah.
And so
Man.
that was just weird. And
It might be, can you describe what she looked like? The hag, the succubus. I know it's difficult.
she she was like big blonde hair. Like she wasn't like old, like wrinkly,
Hmm.
but she was like she didn't look gross, but everything about her just felt
Yeah.
gross and dirty.
Hmm. Hmm.
She very voluptuous. Like she wasn't, besides being old, she wasn't ugly, but she just felt haggy, dirty, just
Hmm.
gross. Like there's something about her that's just disgusting. She didn't look like dirty, like unkempt or anything like that, but like I guess my spirit felt that this thing was disgusting.
Hmm. Hmm.
And this was just like the look was just an illusion in a sense.
Yeah.
Like
Man.
I don't know why it shows that
Hmm.
form, but I would soon find out that other people in my life had the same woman, and
Wow.
yeah,
Can I just
yeah.
ask you what the man looked like as well? Did you know who the man was? Was
No,
he
it just some black dude.
really?
Yeah, which is kind of weird because I don't know if they're the same because it's kind of hard to describe just besides like a slim fit black dude,
Hmm.
uh like well kept hair and stuff like that. My wife had a dream where she was like being chased through a house by uh a very similar built like black dude, but his eyes were white and they had like the hypno rings kind of in them. So I don't know if those are like similar entities and stuff like that, possibly. I
Hmm.
don't, if he was just there watching that, because she had that dream not a couple months after mine, Not it
Hmm.
wasn't long after we got married.
Yeah. Man. And going back to what you were saying about the vibration with the sleep paralysis. Well, we both when I was on your show, I was telling you about when I had sleep paralysis and the vibration that used to go through me before the actual paralysis was like quite a nice feeling. It was a weird feeling, but quite I don't know, there was something quite nice about it. And then I was in the paralysis, and then I was being attacked by an entity that in my mind's eye, I could see. I couldn't move around the room to look around the room, but there was like a black mass in the room that I could see in my mind's eye. And in my mind's eye, I would say that this is a witch, like just like a knowing. I don't know how, but it was like I'm being attacked by a witch, and I would, in Jesus' name, leave and stuff, and eventually that would get rid of this thing.
Hmm.
But that for me at the time, I didn't really know what that was. I had that for a long time, and it's only really now looking back that I feel like what you're saying, that was a spiritual attack. There's no doubt in my mind that was like I was being attacked at that point. And I've had a couple of times in this house where I've had sleep paralysis, and it's the same kind of thing, different entity, but it definitely feels like an attack, man. It's not like a normal dream, and for me, it wasn't. I don't think I'm asleep. It's like I'm trying to sleep. I don't actually know if I'm asleep or not. It's very hard to know, but it is weird, brother. It is weird. Sorry, man. Let's get back to yours.
Oh no, it's all good. Yeah, man, it is weird. Now, there's a couple other things that happen on this property, but the biggest, like, this may be like my first like cryptid encounter.
Hmm.
Uh, was so eventually I got a job where I was working second shift, and so I'd get home at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So on the weekends I'd stay up till 6, 7 in the morning. Well, my buddy, who was not on the schedule on the weekends, he liked to just go out in the backyard, have a fire. Sometimes I'd sit out there with him. Sometimes I'd just play video games. This night I decided to play video games, and I was like, oh, he's probably in bed and stuff like that. No, 2 o'clock in the morning, knocking on my bedroom door. Ryley, get your ass up right now. Turn the game off. And I'm like, why? And he's like, I need you now. I'm getting the guns. And I'm like, what's happening? He's like, Skinwalker. And I was like, you're kidding. He's like, I don't know. That I'm just saying that, but there's something outside right now, out in the woods, and I'm like, chill, dude. Before, like, I take my games very seriously. I was like, you need to explain a little bit more before I take getting banned for 2 days and I can't play my game before I turn this off. He's like, all right. I was sitting by the fire. I heard these coyotes yelping. He's a big hunter. He knows all. I'm not gonna say all the calls. A majority of the call. We all know what coyotes sound like in this area though, because there's hundreds of them. I dare say thousands of them out there, and we used to hunt them. So he hears the coyotes yipping as always. Then he hears this one kind of like screaming, like it's being attacked. He's like, huh, we don't have anything besides other coyotes that are gonna attack, but there's only one pack. They're only coming from this direction. And it's not like it's like an alpha getting one of the others. It's this thing's dying. And then he heard this weird, like, I'm gonna try to just like make the noise because it's like like he said it was
Man.
blasting through the woods. And I'm like, all right, that's enough for me. Turn my game off. I grabbed my pistol. I was like, I don't, I'm just gonna take a pistol out there. We get our lights. So, uh, throw my jacket on, and it's in August, so it's real humid, misty a little bit. It was really setting up the ambiance for a horror movie. So we bust open the back gate into the woods, and these woods go back, and there's a swamp and stuff, and fields and all that behind it. Um, so we bust open the gate, and we're shining our lights because there's an open meadow, and then more woods and stuff. So I scan from left to right. He scans from right to left. We're standing right next to each other. He's got his shotgun. So I think I'm cool. I got my pistol. I'm tactical in it. And I'm scanning. We both meet directly in front of us, and there's a stump. And then I see the stump's probably like 4 foot. I see blue eye shine. And I'm like, You see that eye shine? He's like, bro, yeah, I do. And I was sober. I was sober. It was a Saturday night. It was a rare Saturday night, but I was sober. And so we're just looking at it, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna scan for more. So we take off from it for a second, come back, it's gone. And I'm like, all right, well, it either went your way or my way. And I'm looking, and as he's looking towards the 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 thicket is on his side, so he's looking that way. I'm looking back towards the meadow, and I see this like 6'4" kind of thing, just it's walking, and it's all misty and stuff, so I can't get it good, but I can see it. It's just a silhouette, kind of, but it moved that way. I'm like, bro, we looked at each other, and I was like, we're not chasing that. We sprinted back to the house. And I was,
Wow.
and we've seen orbs and stuff out there. I got some photos on my phone of some orbs that we saw. His wife took a picture of because we just looked at them and they kind of just like danced a little bit out there.
Hmm.
Like this was a couple weeks after we saw that thing. So
Whoa.
so there's some weird stuff out there. Uh, and then that noise that he heard, like I said, I work second shift, so I'd get home late. I always ran inside. I don't like the dark. I'm scared of it. And we decided to oh, I don't know why I said we. I decided to all right, we're gonna just walk today. There ain't nothing to be afraid of. So we had a floodlight, so our gated inside of the yard, we could see everything, but we had a pole barn, and there was just one corner that was pitch black. Could not see anything. I heard that noise. The and I just booked it. I just booked it. Like the the best way to describe the noise, besides like the noise I'm making, just what I can of it, uh, is there's an old cartoon, Phineas and Ferb. They have a pet platypus. The platypus mixed with the predator, mixed with like a metal door opening. So it's just like,
Man. I mean,
and so
you hear that in the forest, I'm gone as well, brother. 100%. I'm not hanging around. Whoa.
yeah, I
The
at that
silhouette that you saw, did that look like what sort of shape was it? Was it like the shape of a human? What?
I it was taller than me. Like I said, it was like 6'4", and it was
That's
biped
big.
it was bipedal,
Yeah.
and it was just walking. But as far as like thickness and stuff, all I could see was like the eyes and like the top of the head. But there's a lot of trees and stuff out there. But like I could see how tall it was because going out there and looking for branches and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like 6 inches taller than me.
Yeah.
And
Man. So I know your friend said Skinwalker, but it could be Bigfoot maybe, or or
maybe.
Dogman.
So I did soon find out there is Bigfoot and there is Dogman in the area. One of the biggest Bigfoot sightings that people don't know about is the Dewey Lake monster. Dewey Lake's only 15 minutes away from where this place was. And I've done Squatch expeditions out there. I got some property that I'm allowed to go out on. Uh Me and my buddy is Shane Jones from Inquiries Over Reality. He
Cool,
uh
dude. Yeah.
he came drove over and we went out there and him and my other buddy Shane, we were crossing through a thicket. They saw something big and brown that wasn't a deer cross like into like the quicksand area. And they're like, "Oh, but the people out on this property have weird stuff." And a dude actually came up because there's a church on the property. A dude came up to the pulpit and said, "Hey, I saw a Bigfoot out while out in the woods the other day." And I mean, it's hundreds of acres of private property. And the dude was like, "Oh, I saw Bigfoot out there." So it wouldn't surprise me maybe if it was a Squatch, but there's also a lady showed me some pictures of dogmen in the area. My wife saw a dog man 20 minutes south, from where this place was in the highway. And
Man, I've got to get your wife on the show as well.
yeah, she wasn't putting the baby down. I told her to come up down here.
Whoa, what
That
did she see? Did she see she saw a full body dog man?
so this is what's so weird about it. So she can get mad. I don't care. I've done it before. It ain't gonna be the last time telling her story for her.
Yeah, only if she's happy to. I don't want to get you
But
in trouble, brother.
oh no, you're good. Uh, she'll just make fun of me for telling her story. But she was she was driving down the road, down the highway. Uh, there's a state park near the area, and then another 20 minutes south, there's a national park. Um, so she was driving. Highway wasn't that busy, and she saw this big shadow thing in the road. She's like, "Oh, it's a deer." And as she got closer, it looked, but she's like, it was kind of translucent, but it had red eyes. I'm pretty sure she said it had red eyes. I almost wish she was here. I'm pretty sure she had said it had red, but I looked at her and just was gone.
Whoa.
And so
So it's like see-through.
yeah, kind of, it was like
Whoa.
half phased in, half phased out. So she calls me and she's like, Ryley, I, like, she was crying, and she was like, I think I just saw something. And she's like, what's that thing, Dogman, that you always talk about? Like, what's that? And I was like, it's like a werewolf, but like more dog than some of the werewolf depictions. And she's like, I think I just saw one of those. And then well, I'm not wearing the shirt. One of the Cryptids of the Corn, like one of their OG short shirts has Dogmen on it, and I happen to have that shirt on. Took a picture. I was like, "Is this what you saw?" And she was like, "Yes."
Bro.
So
Wow.
it's Michigan though,
And as you, yeah, Michigan dog man. It's a huge part of the law there, man. Whoa.
so it wouldn't surprise me if maybe that thing out there was a Dogman. But
hmm And that's the thing as well with the cryptids is like the UFOs. There's so many different versions. People explain different experiences. Some people think these things are flesh and blood. Some say that it's more spiritual, supernatural. Again, I think it's a mixture of all these things. That's why it's hard to put it in one box. I mean, what your wife saw, that it sounds like more supernatural if it's like see-through. But that's wild, man. What are your thoughts on these things? What do you think they are?
I I don't know, man. I can confidently say I don't know. I know they're evil. I know Dogmen are evil.
hmm
There's nothing good about them.
Yeah.
Um, I think there is a. I think there's numerous. There's more than one type. You hear about the militarily genetically modified. I think that's very real. I think that's what a lot of the ones in northern Michigan are. But I think the ones, uh, like away from the military bases, I think they're very spiritual.
hmm
I think that what the ones roaming in the mountains of Appalachia, I think those are spiritual. And we can get into. I can give you a little bit of
Oh, let's
my
go.
my. I'm not allowed to talk about everything yet. There'll be a day when I'm allowed to talk about everything, but I can give you.
Teasing me. You're teasing me, brother.
We got a documentary coming out. My boy Doc Brown from Prometheus Lens is putting out a
Oh, what a
documentary.
legend. Yeah. Love Duck. Man. All right, okay. We've got to go into that, but I've just got to ask you something. Go back a little bit to the succubus that you experienced.
Yeah.
You said your friends also experienced that same entity, possibly.
Yes,
I've got to ask you, man.
not to the point of like what happened to me,
hmm
but they have seen, if not the same looking lady, because I told them all the next morning because I needed some spiritual help, and uh I felt comfort telling them, and they're like, yeah, we've seen very, very similar things. One person said it kind of looked like one of her aunts that's like notorious for that kind of stuff. But it's just weird. But I guess one of the things I failed to mention too, when I was atheist, I tried the tarot, I tried all that stuff. I was before I got saved, I was pretty lustful, I will say. Um, Slept with a few women who I found out to be witches, but I didn't care at the time, you know. But so I've definitely opened doors throughout my life,
Hmm.
and who knows, maybe it could have been one of them doing something because they were mad that they were found out that I found somebody. Yeah, who knows?
Hmm.
I don't know. Or maybe I'm a big person on familiar spirits. Like pe familiar spirits are a very real thing. People do. I've met people that are in constant contact with a familiar spirit, and I wouldn't be surprised if one told somebody something about me and somebody tried to put a curse on me or something like that. Who I don't know.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Man.
that's you don't know with that kind of stuff. So I'm not gonna say like it is that. I'm just saying that's a possibility.
Yeah.
It could have just been this succubus just wanted to get me to fall back into temptation, or just wreck me and make me think I've fallen too far away from God to get me back on the path that I once was,
Hmm.
uh, walking the path of death. You know.
Man. Right, brother. Well, we got to get into your what you was going to tell me about the Appalachians. What happened, man? Or what you can tell me.
All right. So I can tell you a lot about what happened the first night because Doc wasn't there to record. So I got asked to join Drewski and CW Ops on an operation. Uh, Me, them, my boy Kevin from Where the Weird Ones Are. Uh,
Oh, so many
Down,
awesome dudes here, man. I need to move over to the US where you guys are, man.
I
So
do it.
many cool people you've mentioned in this episode.
Hey man, like I told you when you're on my show, brother.
I'm
We'll
coming.
we'll bring you in with arms wide open. You can move anywhere in the country, and you'll be
Oh,
close to at least one of us.
yeah, absolutely. I'm not leaving though. That's the thing. Once I come over, I'm staying.
Yeah, no. Well, better get to it, brother,
I
because
know.
we got some cool stuff coming up.
Oh, I'm coming, brother. Man, sorry.
Oh man, we'll throw you a party when you get over here. All right.
Oh,
But so we all went down there to Harley owns Bigfoot Reports and Data. I don't know if you've spoken to him at all.
yeah, Holly. Yeah, another name. Come on, man.
I love Harley. Me and him became like there was a circumstance that happened on my way down. So I'm driving all the way from Indiana. So it was like a 12-hour drive for me. About halfway through, I was going to take a detour and see my buddy in Kentucky and his wife, who I haven't seen in years. Uh, I get a call from Harley. Ryley, can you pick me up? My truck's transmission went out. And I was like, all right, GPS. All right, we're not going through Kentucky no more. I go pick up Harley. It was nice though. Me and Harley got to talk for like 2.5 hours, just us, uh, about everything. But we went to an area that Harley has researched and stuff before, around the area, I should say. Uh, to be honest, I don't even know where this place is. I was sent actual GPS locations and said, "Go meet here."
Oh, wow.
So very covert.
Yeah. Is that you just don't want the area out there for people
Y
to visit?
yeah. So
Yeah.
it was like eventually I was like, forget the GPS. I got Harley, take me here. But so we all get out there and stuff. And dude, the second I guess I should give Doc a shout out. I did stay the night at Doc's house the night before. Uh, we had a good time. But we decided to that morning. We got there early and old beaten road into the mountains. And as soon as we got into the deep woods, I just started instantly feeling off. Like just I'm not saying like I'm sensitive to this stuff, but I guess I am because I can really feel when something's around.
Hmm.
Um, Especially if it wants me to know it's around. Soon as I couldn't see civilization anymore, it got weird. And like Harley could instantly see it on my face. He's like, "You all right, Bubba?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm all right. This is just a lot." Like I went down there because I camp all that stuff, but I was out of my element. I'm from the Midwest, man. We ain't got mountains. We got fields and forests, baby. I can see even in the forest. I can see straight ahead for quite a while. In cornfields. So I'm like, I'm not used to the mountains. Like I'm out of my element. So there's that aspect of it. But I'm already feeling like, oh, like spiritually. I just come to find out, old evil. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling the beginning of time evil just all around me. And so we get there and we set up camp. Everything's all good to go. And one of the first things Drewski asked me to do is, "Hey Riley, I got some anointing oil." He's like, "I'm setting up alarms around camp. I want you to go pray, or take the oil, mark spots, just pray." And so I took it and I started praying and I claimed our campsite area. I went around, marked trees over so feet and around in a very specific way. And I'm just praying, God, protect us, all that kind of stuff. But one of the big things I did was I claimed the land for Christ. Everything is Christ, but principalities and stuff like that, they have their dominions, but we have the authority through Christ to claim that. So that's what I did. I prayed that any principalities, any ancient evil, anything that is not of God and his spirit is not allowed in here. This is our space. This is Christ. Christ is here. This basically, I was just saying nothing's welcome here. So, come to find out, in hindsight, that put a big old target on my back. And everybody that went on that trip can tell you, yeah, Riley got the most action. Uh,
Whoa.
so,
Well,
we're just
spiritually attacked?
spiritually, uh, there was some physical stuff, like nothing like touched me, but stuff got really, really close. Um, but so night one happens. I didn't go out and hike throughout the day because I just didn't. I had every opportunity that arose for it, I just didn't. I was doing something else. And I just felt the first day, I just, like I said, I felt real weird and stuff. So I was kind of out of it. I was out. You can ask anybody there. I was kind of just awkward. So, but that first night, they're like, all right, let's break up into two teams. We got Team A, head led by Drewski, and we got Team B led by Podunk. And so they're doing that, and I'm like, I'm staying at base camp. I'm staying with Old Timer and another dude, and we're running comms. We're in between both, so we can communicate with everybody. But one of the things that we did was, uh, Harley had seen something a while ago, like before months or maybe even years before on a certain thing. So we decided to set up this giant glow stick. And my job, besides running comms too, was keep an eye on that glow stick. So we're just sitting there. Huh. uh, You seeing that? And the other two guys I was with were like, yeah, something just passed in front of the glow stick. I'm like, huh. So we just kept on looking at it, but then we had to tell ourselves, don't stare at it, otherwise your mind's gonna start playing, like making it look like it's moving and stuff like that. And it didn't. And we'll come back to that. Uh, but then all of a sudden we started hearing these owls. Just regular owl. And us at base camp, we hear that, and we're like, huh. Then we hear, and I got it on video, but I got to pull the audio because like I can only hear it in these headphones, but these are also like professional music studio. My
Hmm.
my buddy that's a producer gave them to me as a
Yeah,
gift,
yeah.
so they can hear things that normal headphones and stuff can't.
Hmm.
because all you can hear is in the video I took on my phone is like the steps, and you can very faintly hear it in the background. But then we start getting comms from Team A, like, "Yo, did you guys hear that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, it's like right by us." And then all of a sudden, no, you know how I said I did a very, very specific perimeter? Well, there was an area that I didn't go out far. I just cut it off where we were. I didn't go into the woods or anything like that. We start hearing some rustling out there, and us guys at camp are like, "What the?" We're just sorry, and sorry if that blowing right there just went through
Yeah,
the mic.
no, that's cool, man.
But yeah, we heard these rustling and stuff. I'm like, "What?" So now I'm freaking out, and like, man, I'm glad I didn't go out into the woods because I didn't want to go out because I didn't know the terrain. I didn't even go out there during the day, so I'm not going out there at night. And we and all of a sudden it started a monsoon, and everybody's running back. And when Team B came back, my boy Juan, he was crawling under the wire, and his backpack snagged the alarm. So we're just sitting there, and all of a sudden this flashbang goes off in the distance, and it's boom. And I think that scared me more than anything.
Yeah.
Oh, but that was the first night, and so I I set up a hammock. I was gonna sleep in a hammock. I slept in my car every night because, well, the first night is because my hammock got wet. That's what I also kind of wanted to sleep in my car. But you know how I said something crossed in front of that light? The next morning, me and one of the guys that was running comms with me decided, oh, we're gonna go walk out there and take a look. We're just gonna take down the light and stuff. There was a hill and then the road and then a hill and a ravine. Up on the hill where that thing came from, there was a giant slide. It slipped. It had slipped, and there was potential footprints on the other side.
Oh man.
Dude, I've never seen so many footprints in my entire life, Squatch prints, as I did on this trip. And I'll send you some of the pictures that have been made public.
Hmm.
I know Harley's probably posted a couple of them. I got a couple on my phone that I haven't posted anywhere.
How big are we talking?
Uh, Let me grab my phone right quick because we Harley was smart enough to bring a tape measure. If I can find it. Uh, I think they were 21, 22 inches.
Whoa.
I'm having a Oh, here it is. Sorry.
That's all right, brother.
But yeah, it was so weird because there was one right outside of our camp, but then there was that slide,
Hmm.
and
So something's fallen, something big.
yeah, but there was like different size ones throughout. And this is where I'm kind of getting in the territory where I can get in trouble, but Drewski also spilt a lot of beans on Shane's show. All right, so I guess this is an example too. Uh, I wear a size 13, size 14, depending on the shoe. I don't have one of the
Whoa.
tape measure pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some big old stompers, bro.
Yeah, man.
But these things made my these things made my feet look tiny. And
Wow.
I got real wide feet too. So like I think
Wow.
I got a good I got a good foot to judge, you know, because everybody knows me by my big feet and wide feet. So I had a lot of non-believers, like friends and family and stuff, and I showed them that, and they're like, "Yeah,
That's big.
that thing makes your foot look tiny."
Wow, man.
And even like my wife, who doesn't believe in this stuff necessarily, like she's coming to it, but it's hard for her, even
Hmm.
though she's seen the dog man. Um, she saw one of the pictures Harley posted, and she's like, "That right there, makes me like it's hard to say this thing's not real because
Hmm.
it was such a good footprint. But the real action happened on the second night. And I'm gonna give enough detail to get people intrigued, but not enough to where it's still, I mean, no matter what, everybody needs to check it out once Doc posts it. I'll be posting it everybody will be
Hmm.
posting it everywhere. But the second night, we go out. Well, during the day we're hiking and stuff, find some more prints and stuff like that, some tree breaks, some structures and stuff like that. And we decide to we find a item out in the woods, and Drewski comes up with an idea for a trap, some Scooby-Doo type stuff. And so we decide to go back, and everybody's going to take naps. We're just going to chill for the day until it gets nightfall, like right before it gets dark. So we're out, we all start booking it, and we're heading back out to the spot. It's a decent hike. I just start feeling really, really weird again. And I don't even realize it this time. But we're walking out, and Kevin thinks he hears something up on the ridge above us because we're down in a kill valley, dude. Like, you don't want to be in the spot, the spots that we're in. We had the low ground by far. And so I start, I don't realize it, but I'm like about to have a panic attack. And Kevin turns around and hugs me real quick. He's like, "Brother, are you okay?" I'm like, "What you mean?" He's like, "You're breathing really rapidly and really heavy. No, no, not that, not yet. You're hardly breathing, and you need to breathe because all I hear is from you." And I'm like, "Bro, I didn't even realize I was doing that." He's like, "You need to chill out. Like this isn't like I don't know what's going on." I was like, "Bro, I don't know either, but like I'm getting real tripped out right now." So we start walking through the woods. It's you can't even see your hand in front of your face, dude. It's so dark.
Hmm.
Um, we get to our spot and we're just looking around, and I noticed this fresh print, and I'm like, "Guys, get over here right now!" And we're looking at, didn't take no pictures or nothing. I may actually I might have a video. Doc might have something. I'm not sure, but dude, fresh like it was not there 3 hours ago. And then some there's some other signs that I just can't say right now, but are
Oh,
I maybe I'll tell you off air. But for the world right
yes.
now, uh,
Oh,
this is it's like this is the point where we're like, because we were kind of feeling about the Drew said it, I'm gonna say it. We Drew and I talked about it quite a bit the first day. Like, is something gonna happen or is it not? It's like Harley gets very passionate about it, and I love that. I love Harley, and this isn't me saying anything bad at all, but like you know when you have this much stuff happen at a spot, you kind of you got to start thinking like, is he like, how much of it is the truth, how much of it's not? And I, we found out very quick that he's not pulling anybody's leg. And it was after finding that footprint and this other stuff that we realized, oh, they're here. So,
bro.
uh, some stuff happens. Some stuff happens. That
What, what happened?
let let's just say there's some noises. There's some noises and stuff, and it involves a camera that can see in the night.
Oh, wow.
So there's some stuff there. But me
Oh,
and Kevin are laying down. We got Drew. Kevin and Drew are like taking the back flank, And me and Kevin are laying down, and we see he starts seeing these like he sees like a red orb, and I see these blue lights everywhere, like tiny little blue lights. They're moving everywhere, and everyone's like, "Oh, those are fireflies." I ain't never seen a damn blue firefly in my entire life. Nobody. I don't think anybody else was seeing them. Or there probably was fireflies out there, but I'm seeing blue around me, but they're farther out. And then Ke me and Kevin are laying down next to each other. He's like, "Do you hear that?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I hear screams out in the distance." And I'm like, "Bro." And then everything hits the fan. Everything hits the fan. And keep in mind, we're lights out, pitch dark. Everything hits the fan. That's when, if you've checked out the trailer for Operation Smoke that Doc has posted, if you haven't, I highly suggest checking it
I
out.
think I've seen that. Yeah.
At the very, very end, when it has the title, and you hear, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit," that's when
So
shit hit the
these
fan.
these things are coming in.
Maybe.
Oh, brother. When's this coming out, this documentary? Do you know?
Hopefully soon. Doc's working on it.
Okay.
But I do got more for you
Let's go.
with this, because this happened. So, stuff hits the fan. I'm excited for everybody to see that. And the day I can finally talk about it. But then we gather together. Or like at this point, my heart's do do do, and I just feel sick, dude. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. And so my boy Juan, he's like, this is the funny moment. Uh, he's like, I eat. Juan's a big dude. I'm a big dude. Me and Juan were the designated big dudes out there, big bellies. And he's like, I eat when I'm nervous, and I was like, me too. He pulls out this granola bar, and he's like, you want to share it with me? I was like, yeah. And then I was like, did we just become brothers? And he's like, yeah. So me and him got this undying bond to this day. Of everybody's like, what's wrong with you guys? And we're like, we're two fat dudes that just shared a meal in a super scary life or death situation. We are brothers for life now. So at this point, I'm like, I'm not leaving. Like, if we break up, we're sticking together. And me and him and a couple other people are like, we just want to go back now. We just want to go back to camp. It's a good hike. We just want to go back to camp. And we're just like, me and him are just sitting off to the side. I hope they say we're going back to camp. I hope they say we're going back to camp. And then Drew's like, all right, everybody split up in the teams. Instead of being in one big group, we're splitting off into cells. And so me, Juan, and two other people um decide to we didn't decide, it's just how the it happened. I don't know why we went back to where we were, where stuff happened, but we decided to go back there, and we did not want to turn our lights off. But everybody's like, "Lights out, we're going dark." And dude, when I tell you, I felt like I was gonna die. And Juan and the other guys were like, "We're this. I don't feel good. I need to turn the lights on now. They have to come on now. Now, like we're freaking out. I almost got to." And then all of a sudden, we're right next to a creek, dude. Like I can move 2 feet, and I'm standing in this big old creek, about 10, about 10 yards behind us, through the creek. And then up on the bluff, we hear movement. And then a couple seconds later, in front of us, 10 feet the other direction. And we can't see anything. We're lights out. Something's right. And I lost it. I was like, we got to go now. Lights on, lights. I just flipped my lights on. Like, we got to go. And everybody's like, what? But the forest, like, we're out of here now. And dude, it was, there's so much more,
Man.
but whatever it was, I I think people can put pieces together that
Mm-hmm.
there's Bigfoot in the area.
A hundred
Sasquatch.
percent. Yeah. Bro.
It, uh, which takes us to there's more stuff that happens, but you gotta wait.
Man,
uh,
I'm looking forward to seeing this, man.
uh,
So is this going to be a documentary on all your channels or just
it's
Doc's channel or?
it's gonna just be on Doc's channel.
Hmm.
He's the one that he's put the most. He's doing it. It's his. It's
Hmm.
we were just part of it. It's Doc's. But the I can tell you about when we got back because this is already out. He did edit on his members page. He's got a lot of it, but he cut out my part for a reason. But there's a 9 minute version, and then if you remember, you get a whole half an hour minus my part and another person's. But if you've watched the trailer, you can just see my face, and I look like I'm about to cry. So we're sitting by the fire before this even starts. Like Doc starts doing the debrief video and stuff like that. We're all just sitting and talking. And shout out to Kevin, man. I love him to death.
He's a
Uh,
cool dude.
he grabbed me by the arm. He's like, brother, if you need to cry, you can cry. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, Ryley, you look like you're about to bawl your eyes out right now. And I'm like, do I? Like I had so much going through me, like I didn't even like nothing felt real.
Hmm.
And so he just when you watch the trailer, like you can see that in me. And uh
Man, it sounds like this was a wild weekend, brother.
it as I said in the trailer, man, my life has been changed forever.
Wow.
Dude, it
Bro.
I got humbled real quick.
I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah. It's it's gonna be good. It's and all of it's authentic, man. It's all
Hmm.
in the moment. There was never a second of it besides the debrief, and that's just because we sat down and said, "Hey, we're doing a debrief."
Hmm.
That was script. Everything's in the moment as it's happening, like just camera rolling the whole time.
Man, well, we're looking for this. We're looking forward to this, to seeing this, man. I know I am, that's for sure. And I'm sure the
Oh,
listeners are as well. Wow, brother.
yeah, it was the wildest weekend of my entire life.
Hmm.
I for a moment I thought I'm never doing this again, and then I get a call because I got a long drive on the way back. I get a call from Drewski. And he's like, "All right, brother, it's sat in. You want to do this again?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do."
Let's go.
I was like, "He's like, you got the tough one out the way. The first one's always the hardest."
Yeah.
Because I'll admit to everybody right now, I was terrified. I was scared. I
Hmm.
felt like a child lost in a jungle. I've never been so terrified, stressed, anxious, anything in my entire life.
So would you say after that weekend, you're a total believer now? Like there's no doubt that these creatures are out there.
Oh, 110%. And I don't think they're physical all the way.
Interesting.
I think there's some that are just physical flesh and blood, but I think a lot of this is spiritual.
Hmm.
Because just some of the stuff that happened, man. Like just with other people, like just because I had a lot of stuff happen to me doesn't mean other people there out there didn't have stuff happen to them.
Hmm.
I I definitely got singled out in a lot of situations, and I know it's because of that prayer.
Hmm.
And but
Well,
yeah,
you've definitely been through some spiritual attacks, brother. As you were saying, especially since you've come to God, it seems to have escalated, obviously. Oh, my Siri's just come up. That's weird. Ah, Siri, get off, man. Oh, wow. Did you hear Siri then? Did you hear Siri go, whoa?
no, I did not.
That's so weird. I mean, that does happen every now, but it never happens when you call it. It's always when you're talking about something else.
Hmm.
Sorry, brother.
Oh, you're all
Um,
good.
But you've been through some battles, man. And I mean, as you say, I think we're constantly tested throughout our life. I don't think there's ever a time where we're like, okay, there's no more battles. I feel like we're spiritually tested, and I feel like some people that maybe are not even into this kind of stuff, maybe not even religious, I feel like they're spiritually tested as well, but maybe don't even know it. I feel like there's stuff going on around us, man, that we can't always see,
Right.
and yeah, it's not always good, and yeah, and it sounds like you've been through it, brother.
Yeah, I would say so, man. I would. Oh, and it's not done yet, brother. It's not done yet. This is
Absolutely,
I'm young, man. I'm only getting started.
yeah, yeah. Well, brother, I have loved talking to you tonight, man. It's been a blast. I
Yeah.
appreciate your time. I feel like there's probably more we can talk about. So I'd love to get you back on. I feel like there's a lot more we can talk about, to be honest.
Oh
But
yeah.
interesting stuff, man. Thank you for being so open and so honest about your experiences and your journey through all this stuff, man. It's not always easy talking about it. And I appreciate it, man. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, brother. Dude, this was a blast, and we're gonna have many more
Oh,
conversations in the future, and
absolutely.
hopefully one day you're here in the States, and
I'm
we
coming,
can
man.
go on some adventures.
Absolutely. It sounds quite scary, to be honest, what you've just told me, but I'm coming, man. And you're not getting rid of me. I'm staying.
I can't wait, brother.
You're a top man. You're a great man. Can you tell the listeners where they can find you in your awesome show?
All right, guys. You can find me at Midwest Mythos anywhere. Uh, I'm on YouTube, all podcast platforms. If you look on the YouTube though, put in Midwest Mythos podcast. Um, my Instagram, Midwest Mythos. If you guys want to get a hold of me, Instagram is the best place to do it. But I do have a link tree, which is linktr.ee/ Midwest Mythos podcast. There you can find everything you need. I got the big three, Spotify, Apple, Amazon listeners, like links on there, the YouTube channel, and I even have a report and encounter form at the top. It You don't have to have an encounter to put in there. If you just want to get a hold of me or, come talk to me on my show, you just fill that out or like I said, message me on the Instagram. I guess I do have a TikTok. I don't post on it. That's also Midwest
But you're
Mythos.
there. You're there.
I'm there. There's three shorts on there. But brother, thank you so much. This was an absolute blast. Like we talked about afterwards when you're on my show, man. It feels like we've known each other forever. We've
Absolutely.
talking.
That's what's so amazing about this podcast world, man. It really is cool. Like meeting people like you and we're brothers for life now, man, whether you like it or not.
Hey man, I appreciate it. I love it.
I'm excited for the documentary. I'm excited to see, where you go. As you say, it's the start of your journey, so there's a long way to go. But thank you very much, man. And as I say, first of many conversations, and let's do this again soon.
Sounds good to me, brother. And thank you. God bless you, man.
God bless you, man. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, share it where you can. That is a great way to support us. And we'll be back very soon for more freaky conversations. In the meantime, stay safe and keep it freaky. Bye for now. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. All right, you wanna know a little bit more? Or are you still
Oh,
recording?
yeah, I'm still recording. I'm going to stop it. I'm
Oh.
sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Another little teaser there. Keep it freaky. Oh, it's not stopping.